What up, guys? Vinny D here. Call of Duty Leaderboards Xbox, December 12th, week 3. I pulled out the stats on Monday morning as opposed to Sunday night this week. Give you guys a chance over the weekend to see, give you guys an extra couple of hours there instead of doing it on Sunday night. So, look, lots have changed. Some good races going on. Right now, obviously, we'll go over the boosters here. It is what it is, guys. I mean, there's no way around it. They're gonna hang around. I mean, after the first page, it seems to fizzle out, and they're dropping quite drastically. But obviously, these guys, until things are cleaned up, they'll just be lingering around. So we've X'd them out for now. Obviously, let's look at the guys who deserve merit and go over the board. A couple of things I did change this week, guys. Obviously, for the new guys here, what I do is I extract data once a week and I record changes over the previous weeks, okay, to see who's jumping up, who's falling off. And what I'm going to have is a website created. I know I mentioned that last week. It's going to take a couple of weeks, hopefully by next week, because right now I'm doing this stuff manually and it's just too long. What I did this week actually is I made it top 100 as opposed to top 60. I know some people on my blog wanted to see the top 100, which I did. And obviously some of the PlayStation guys wanted their own, so I had to create a PlayStation one and also go buy a PS4 because I don't play the game just for the hell of it. Get those stats also. So right now, I mean, let's go over it for the guys who are new here. Obviously, you have your current position. You have what the rank was the previous week, and the change from the previous week. That's how things work. And once I have this on a website, what's cool about it is we'll be able to go back on historical data. So you'll be able to see, going back every week where you ranked, if you're in the top 100, if you're close to it. And the cool thing is, I think the most important thing a lot of people overestimate is, how long have you been on that leaderboard. I think that's something that not a lot of guys look for, but if you're able to maintain a position over numerous weeks, that's pretty incredible. I mean, we'll see here in a couple of seconds how guys just tend to drop off as soon as they stop playing. So I mean, a couple of notables, obviously we've got we have the Doom crew and MadTv here is again dueling it out now, pretty close as usual, but I mean they're holding their ground at 1 and 2. But let's go into the into the guys who aren't sharing accounts, who are doing it singly. We see a couple of changes here in the top 10. Obviously everybody pretty much trending upwards, moving up in the ranks. So I mean, if we look here at Scudze, he moved up 4 spots, which is pretty, in the top 10, that's great. He was ranked 8, he's ranked 4th this week. Put in 3 days of playtime. So, I mean, as soon as your SPM is, for the great players with their SPM over 400, once you put in the days in a week, 2.5, 3 days, and you get your games in, you're going to move up. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, if your SPM is a little bit lower, it takes more work, but just, take him for an example here. He was able to jump 4 spots, like I said, 3 days played, and the stats show they don't lie. That's why he was able to trend up. Right now, somebody who's dropped, and this is a perfect example, is if you look at All Tactics over here, who was previously ranked 3rd, now he's down to number 6. He only played a day, and again, he only played a day this week. And if you look at his SPM at 326, that's what hurts. Again, if your SPM, guys, is not there, obviously you've got to grind and you've got to put in the hours. So this is a perfect example of, opposites over here. Somebody with a stronger SPM putting in 3 days, and somebody with a lower SPM not putting in the time, you're going to get bounced and you're going to drop. If we could look down here, somebody that caught my attention is at number 9 over here, Zeus V2. Who was previously ranked 23rd, and now he jumped up to number 9. I am going to keep my eye on this on him because his SPM is at 513, and he played 300 games this week, and his SPM jumped 100 points. I think it was at around 413 last week. It's at 513 this week. So I mean, I'm not going to go into bore you guys with mathematical breakdowns, but that's a huge jump. And that's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. Again, I see the stats from every week. That'll be published eventually for you guys to see when the site's ready. But to jump 100 SPM in a week on 300 games, I mean, you need to be doing a lot higher than 513. And I don't think, again, I don't want to start finger pointing, but we will keep an eye on him from 9 to 23. Right now, that it looks amazing. That's one of the highest jumpers in the top 10, and we will keep an eye on this going forward. If anybody has any info, or you guys could, like I said, always give me a shout out and let me know. I take everybody's opinion with a grain of salt, and I rely on you guys, your info also. So let's look down a little bit at gaming over here, who was ranked 4th last week. He's dropped down to 11. Now I had mentioned it last week that he's not playing much, and 3 weeks ago he was ranked 3rd actually, right below Doom and Twitch and MadTV. So he's obviously not putting in the time. So he only played 180 games this week, and it is what it is. His SPM is 341. So it's funny that usually the top 10 guys want to hold their ranks. They want to hold their positions. That you can see here, they fight for it. But in this case, it's pretty clear of a larger drop-off than a lot of the other top 10 guys. Number 14 over here deserves a shout out. Angry Outsider was 28, jumped to 14 this week. Strong SPM again. Over 400, excellent. He wasn't even a top 60 3 weeks ago, and he put 2.5 days in this week. So excellent work. 10 days played. We'll see what this with how this turns out. And again, it gives you guys motivation on where you stand and how easily you could jump up. Because if we scroll down here, I know the last couple of weeks I had the top 60. I'll give you guys some time to take a look at this board here. Obviously, as usual, I'll save a screenshot for you guys and I'll post it on the website for you guys to take a look at it. You could see the top 30. I mean, a lot of green, a lot of red. It's pretty much even. As you guys who don't know, if you weren't ranked in the previous week, like down here at number 28, Ice Bullish, he jumped in. If you weren't ranked in the top 60 last week, then you get your little blue arrow, your blue line over here that you weren't ranked. So the cool thing here is that I started to notice and give you guys motivation is as we move lower down here, let's jump to 35. You'll see a lot of guys that weren't in the top 60 just leapfrog everybody and just jump right in. And the races are so tight right now because the game just came out. Everybody's kind of figuring things out, making changes, new apps, double XP, who's putting in hours, who's putting in time. And the numbers don't lie. And that's the thing, is that if you're close to cracking the 100, I mean, it's really the guys in the end who put in the time that are it'll pay off. And just by seeing this board and these charts that I tried to make for you guys will give you an idea on where you stand. If we go down here from 54 on, you'll see it even more. Not much green from 35 up, from 35 down to 73. As you can see, more red, guys fizzling out and guys jumping in. These obviously weren't ranked and now they are. So you could see that a lot. It's really hard to to maintain your ground. And obviously as we jump down, we drop deeper into the boards and closer to the 100. You'll see less and less of the the 400 plus mark and more into the the 300s. And so, not saying that they can't make a push for it, but it's just going to be harder. And you could look at Fly. I know I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. He has a lower SPM, and as you can see, he just can't hold ground because of that SPM. He was ranked 40th. He's down now to 66. So just requires more time, and it is what it is. And some people just love the game, don't really care about the boards. I'm just bringing you guys the stats so you can see where you're at, and compensate for the guys who do put in the time. And it feels good to see what a true leaderboard looks like over time, without any boosters, and the way it should be built. So again, this is the first week where I gave you guys the top 100, took more time, but it should be automated soon, so it's going to be a lot easier for me. And you know, obviously the non-ranked here, because we were only doing the top 60 last week, but you could still see guys like, you know, you stop playing Bernie Mac. Another guy I had mentioned a couple of weeks back didn't put any time. Could it be they just stopped playing the game? And you know, in a week, you know, you lose 50 spots because you're not playing. So numbers don't lie, guys. So I put them in the top 100 for right now. These are all, if your name's up here, congratulations for making the board. You know, I know it's tough to, it's really hard to get there and maintain it. So props to you guys for it. Keep the hard work up. And again, I should have the website going, which is going to be much better. You know, it's going to have data. I don't have to go over and create screenshots and bore you guys with videos and stuff. And the most important thing is there'll be a, you know, a statistic to show you how long you've maintained your status in the top 100. That's something that's really impressive. Guys that drop out and guys that come in, you know, sure, it happens every week, but for the guys to actually hold their ground over a long period of time, that merits to be seen and shown to everybody. So hopefully you like the video. That's it for week 3, and if there's anything, you guys let me know. I'm here to try to make it as best as possible, and you know, give you guys what you want. So up until next week, keep grinding.